This is the business of pop culture, where we explore the intersection of entertainment, media, and consumer engagement. So this week we're going to be talking about Cocaine Bear. I think you have to be living under a rock not to know about this movie, but what is it that you think makes Cocaine Bear so interesting from a kind of cultural trends perspective?
So the movie launched on February 24th, so we're about a week in. It's already made at this point 32 million in global box office. The title says it all, Cocaine Bear. It's about a bear doing cocaine. Funnily enough, poor thing, it is based on a true story, insofar as in 1985, they did find a bear in the woods in Georgia who had overdosed on cocaine from a duffel bag that was thrown out of a plane there in like the sort of local drug smuggling network. And now they made it into a movie after it's sort of been pinging around as an urban legend, copy pasta thing. In online circles for the past 20 years or so. So to some extent, you could almost call it like a film success built on the meme machine.
This idea of meme culture being a place where Hollywood can generate ideas and IP is quite interesting, because we haven't really seen that emerging. I mean, obviously, with the NFT world, we sort of saw this idea of like these NFT characters were going to become a universe for cartoons and so on. And I think a couple of studios bought up some of the NFT characters and trying to create the shows around them. But apart from that, I can't think of any sort of meme culture that's thrown up a cinema success, for example, in a way that Cocaine Bear has.
I think these kind of dynamics, looking into what captures people's imagination online, not necessarily to do like one-on-one adaptations, but really just paying attention to how they then interact with little snippets of your content to then iterate upon and kind of use it in their own social media content in the way that they connect with others. I think there are really interesting energies here that can contribute to just having like a more fruitful and broader approach to even just market research, right? I mean, you want to be nurturing these communities who keep talking about the thing you've made and then build and enhance upon it and then see what comes out of it. That's how groups like Wattpad and Webtoon were, having huge successes out of the South Korean markets and are really just creating their content empires. Netflix's Heartstopper was based off of a comic that started off as a webcomic, and I think these sort of wider user-generated content platforms are going to be one of the future incubation spaces. They already are incubation space. They're already producing huge hit shows for the likes of Netflix and other production companies out of Naver Corporation. Naver, which is like the South Korean parent company that owns Webtoon and Wattpad. And they have basically already, they've been at this for near to a decade now. They have been basically tracking the kind of fan fiction, webcomics, and things that people produce en masse, the tropes that are being played towards that, and the kind of stories that draw big audiences. So they're both using it as an incubation space for existing writers and elevating really successful content creators, but they're also just straight up looking at the content that draws people's attention and analyzing it almost algorithmically down into its important tropes and story beats and how they can let that influence the content they then create for TV and movie adaptations. And they've been behind some of them, especially in the YA space, the really big hitting titles in TV and movies over the last 5 years.
So that's interesting. So the user-generated IP is a fairly mature market, but we would say that meme IP is the nascent trend that content creators might want to have a look at. I'm trying to think of what memes would turn into great movies. I think, we had Bean Dad a while ago. I don't remember if you remember Bean Dad, which was a dad on Twitter who went viral for waiting for his child to work out how to open a tin of beans instead of telling her how to do it herself. So I could see Bean Dad being quite a good sort of Michael Haneke style film, perhaps.
They've already built an epic out of Distracted Boyfriend with the existing stock photos, because there's like a whole story to tell there, and there's potentially like a periodical triad between the three people in the image, quite moving.
The idea is there that there's potential for memes to grow into the next big IP area. I don't know whether that's terrifying or something to be excited by. I will leave that up to our viewers. But thank you, Julia, and see you next week.